What's up, guys? Hope all is well. Just wanted to take some time to chat with you, share some things with you, something that's been on my mind this morning. So I went out for a walk in the lovely Mother Nature. Um, as anyone who knows me knows, I'm an observer and I like to think and put two and two together. You get creativity. And one thing that's been created in my mind, you go into a forest, wooded area, the mountains, whatever the case may be. We typically, especially during this time of the year, all we see is green. We see green, we see life, um, see everything blossom. We see all these beautiful things of nature. But what we either don't see or don't really pay attention to is how much dead is really in nature. You talk about if you go into the heart of nature, you start seeing trees falling down. You see everything about what the forest truly is, and it's the livelihood of nature. Things live, things die, and it just got me to thinking. When you go and see the dead things in nature, let's take a tree for example. A tree, when it's been struck by lightning, damaged by weather, whatever the case may be, part of it's laying on the ground, or it may be the whole thing on the ground. And it got me to thinking, well, it's still getting watered and it's lying on the ground that still has nutrition lying around and it still can nourish the tree. So why can't the tree still grow? And it clicked in my head. Obviously, it's not possible. And the time that trees or plants are at their best is when they're attached to the ground. Their roots are in the ground, grown deeply, and they stand firm, they stand tall. And that's the only way they can grow. You plant a seed of a plant or a tree, and you have to be faithful to watering that plant as much as possible. And the only way it can grow, you can't put a tree on concrete. You can't put a tree or a plant on blacktop. You can't do any of these things and expect and go and water a tree and expect it to grow. You can't just lay it on the side of your porch and expect it to grow. And it just made me think about a couple of different things. One, that's how we live as humans. Whether you're the dead tree or a person trying to water the dead tree, it's like it's just not happening. I see people every day going to water a certain type of tree, and they see the tree's dead. We see the people around them see the tree is dead, and yet they continue to try to water them. So it's like, are you dead because you're trying to water a dead tree, a dead plant? These people have obviously shown you they're not willing to grow, and yet we continue to try and water them, and it's like you are wasting your time. And yet these people are just like any other tree. You're stripping your own you're stripping your own nutrition, your own water, to replenish something that has shown you it's not going to grow. And it's like, and it's just weird to me that people will continue to do such. And then two, my second thought on all this was, wait a minute, these trees in the forest, realistically speaking, trees in the forest, nobody's gonna pick them up and try to replant them. Nobody's gonna try to pick it up and take it home and put it in their backyard. Nobody's going to clean off the stump that's still there, that's still in the ground, and try to refurbish it or flourish it. Nobody's gonna do that. But as humans, we have the option to get up and reroot ourselves, and yet we don't. We want to sit in the same environment and wait for somebody to come help us up, and that's not gonna happen. And it's like, when do we come to reality and say and take accountability on our own? When do we take accountability to live on our own? There's so many, and don't get me wrong, there's so many people out there who are flourished. They're growing, they're green, and they're living. You see water dripping off of them every day because they're continuing to water themselves. But yet there's so many people out there who are dead. They're brown. They're dry. They're not getting any kind of nutrition, and it's just like you have to replant yourself. You have the ability. You are capable of replanting yourself, and yet we don't do it. There's a quote or a story I heard a long time ago about trees versus humans. And it just talks about the fact that trees, once you plant the seed of a tree, you can water it as much as you want. You can put sunshine on it as much as you want. It's going to grow, but it's going to grow in that one area. It's going to grow in that one spot. You can't move it. You can't replant it. You can't do it all over again. None of these things. We as humans treat ourselves the exact same way. And it's not the case. We as humans, you can be planted in one environment today. Tomorrow you can start in another environment. And it's just like, because here's the thing. Just as the trees can outgrow their environment, you see these trees that roots grow so massive that they start to grow out of the ground. You see trees that grow so massive that they eventually pull their own self out of the ground. We as humans just do the same thing. We can outgrow environments, and yet we tend to stick in those environments. It doesn't make the people around you bad. It doesn't make that environment bad. It just means you simply outgrew that environment. And if you do, great. Get up, reroot yourself, put yourself in another environment so you can grow even bigger. You can grow even taller. As I said, this story just talks about trees that can grow up to 90 feet, and it takes them 5 years to grow to that 90 feet. It just talks about how it takes these trees 5 years to grow. All right. And in those 5 years, they eventually grow up to 90 feet. But it also talks about someone has to, once they plant the seed of it, someone has to be there to water it enough every single day, day after day, day after day, day after day, day after day. And eventually within 5 weeks, it tends to break the ground. All right. Meaning it starts to grow. It starts to sprout up through the ground. So if someone was to stop watering that tree, guess what? That tree stops growing. And it's the same with humans. If we're not continuing to water ourselves, we're not going to get watered. Like, nobody is coming to the rescue for you. Nobody's coming to water you. Nobody's coming to make sure you get the proper sunlight. Nobody's going to make sure you're in the right environment. None of these things. It's on you. It's on us as an individual. We need to learn to start taking accountability again of our own lives. We're leaving our lives in the hands of too many people nowadays. And it's like, what do you expect from somebody else? Especially if you see that someone else or a group of people or a different organization or whatever the case may be can't withstand on their own feet. What makes you think they're going to stand on their feet and help you stand on your feet? All right. So it's just all mind-boggling to me, I guess. And as I said, it was just something that came to my mind that made me think, holy man, this is how we as people, this is how we as humans act as well. We're like that dead tree that's laying on the side of the path that it's not going to grow anymore. It's basically said, this is where I'm at in life and this is where I'm going to stay. And we don't have to be that way. We are still allowed to get up. The storm has knocked you down. You've been struck by lightning. Um, the animals have sucked you dry, the insects, the fungus, whatever the case may be, but yet you still have the opportunity to rise. You are that living, you are a living choice, not a existence of living. All right, there's a difference. And here's the other thing: do we also in nature, something that we don't pay attention to is nature feeds off itself. Tree grows 90 feet. Do you not think the rest of the trees around are not going to possibly try to at least get to 90 feet? They're at least going to get to 90 feet. And so it also, how you choose to live is also affecting the people around you. If you're one of these people, you're one of these, if you're a dead limb, or even if you're one of these people, as I said, that are trying to water the tree that's on the ground, you're killing the environment around you. And it's just not cool. All right. Let's regain your focus. Let's reroot yourself and let's dust yourself off, get back in the ground and grow again. All right. That's the abilities we have. That's the capabilities. That's what we're capable of doing. As I said, we need to focus on growing ourselves. Take full accountability of your life, making sure we water ourselves every single day, making sure we get the proper sunlight, and most importantly, making sure we plant ourselves in the right environments. Let's not continue to walk down the wrong path or lie in the path or lie in the environment that we don't belong in. This is so huge to me. I hope someone or some of you take this and grasp onto it and embrace the story. No matter where you are, even if you're one of the living trees, you're full of green, continue to grow. Don't stop there. Continue to grow. See how high you can get, and see how many other people you can bring around you. See how much can you affect your environment? How much can you grow the people and the trees around you? How many flowers can blossom around you? All right. That should be our goals every day. That should then be a main focus. All right. I'm not here to preach to anybody. I'm not here to be negative. I'm not here to beat anybody down. This is how I think. This is how my mind works on a daily basis. And because I care about the human life, because I care about people, I felt the need to share with you guys. And so I hope it hit home. I hope it hits home for some of you. Somebody grabs this. Don't be a dead branch don't be a dead branch in the forest, and don't be one of the people who are trying to water that dead plant. All right. Make sure you're uplifting yourself, and then making sure you're uplifting those around you. Make sure you spread your fruits around. Make sure you're continuing to grow the environment around you. All right. Hope you guys enjoy this message. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope you remain to blossom. I hope you remain to grow as you possibly can. I hope you put yourself in the winning environment. See you guys on the trail.